Hey Soul Family, welcome back to the channel. This is the White Feather Tarot, and in today's reading we're taking a look at what's arriving that you've been waiting for and the huge truth about your next chapter of your life of change. Right, so this is the intention of today's reading. If you prefer to pick your piles, by the way, using your zodiac signs, you will find a timestamp for that down in the description box, which will take you straight to the part of the introduction where we shuffle your zodiac signs and find out in which of the piles they'll fall under. If you prefer for Spirit to pick your pile in today's reading, this is also an option, and you will also find a timestamp for that down in the description box. Otherwise, let's reveal your cards and see what we have for today's reading. So for pile number 1, you've got the card Conspiracy Theorist. For pile number 2, you've got the card Mansplainer Extraordinaire. All right. And for pile number 3, you've got the card Toilet Paper Hoarder. It is a funny deck, for sure. Okay, so if you prefer to pick your piles using your crystals, let me add these right now. There we go. So for pile number 1, you've got the Mahogany Obsidian. For pile number 2, you've got the red Jasper. And for pile number 3, you've got the Rainbow Aura Quartz. So take a look at which one of these 3 piles you're the most drawn to, and this will be the pile for you here today. In case you feel drawn to more than one pile, maybe even all of the piles, trust your intuition. It's meant to take you to the piles you're meant to hear in today's reading, specifically regarding what's arriving that you've been waiting for and the truth about your next chapter of change. And once you're ready, as you know, you'll find the timestamps down in the description box, which will take you straight to your readings. And also please note that in the next part of the introduction, I will be assigning different zodiac signs to each pile. If this is something that you're interested in, please stick around. If not, please pause the video and take as much time as you need. Okay. If you prefer to pick your piles using your zodiac signs, then my dear soul family, welcome. This part of the introduction has been created specifically for you so that you can do just that. And in a moment after the shuffling, I will be drawing out 4 signs for each pile. I think we're pretty much ready. Let's get straight to it. Right, so these will be the signs for pile number 1. We need one more here. These will be the signs for pile number 2. And these will be the signs for pile number 3. Right, let's see what we have. For pile number 1, the signs are Cancer, Aries, Sagittarius, as well as Capricorn. Signs for pile number 2 are Taurus, Pisces, Gemini, as well as Libra. And the signs for pile number 3 are Scorpio, Aquarius, Leo, as well as Virgo. So, my dear soul family, these are the zodiac signs and their association to each of the piles in today's reading. Please feel free to pick your pile or piles using your sun, moon, or rising. I highly recommend you check out the 3. Alternatively, if you prefer to pick your piles using any other placement in your chart, please feel free to do that. And once you're ready, you'll find the timestamps down in the description box, which will take you straight to your readings. And please note that in the next section of the introduction, Spirit will be picking your pile for you. If this is something that you're interested in, please stick around. If not, please pause the video and take as much time as you need. All right. So if you wish for Spirit to pick your pile, welcome. This part of the introduction has been created specifically for you so that you can do just that. And as you may know, I assign a different tarot card to each pile based on the numerology of the major arcana. And so the Magician will be presenting pile number 1, the High Priestess pile number 2, and the Empress pile number 3. And I simply shuffle them around until I miss pulling a card or passing on a card, and then I will know that this is your chosen pile by Spirit. Right, so what's arriving that you've been waiting for, and what's the truth about your next chapter? Well, what's happening here? I was supposed to pass this one. So I was grabbing this one, supposed to pass this one, didn't pick it up. That's the chosen pile. And your chosen pile in today's reading is pile number 3. Right, so these were the different ways in which you can pick your pile in today's reading. I truly hope you've enjoyed them and that they brought you the clarity that you need to find your pile. Once you're ready, you'll find the timestamps down in the description box, which will take you straight to your readings. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. Can't wait to get into the reading, and I'll catch you there. Hi, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. Today, as you know, we're taking a look at what's arriving that you've been waiting for and the truth about your next chapter of change. Can't wait to get into your reading. As always, these are the decks that I'll be using. If you're interested in knowing the names of any of them, you'll find that I list them below for you guys in the description box. And very quickly, let me introduce your pile to you. Your crystal is the beautiful Mahogany Obsidian. Your significator card is Conspiracy Theorist. And if you've picked your pile using your zodiac signs, then in that case, the signs for this pile are Cancer, Aries, Sagittarius, as well as Capricorn. Welcome to your reading. If these are not your signs, please don't worry about it. It's just another way for others to pick their piles as well. All right, so let's get straight into it, and we'll take a look at your oracle cards first. It'll give us an initial strong idea about this, what's arriving, and the truth about the next change. Okay, so you've got the card, whoa, Sun in Leo with Fortune. What an awesome card right off the bat. I love this for you. And you've got the, if this is the second house, okay, so it is Leo. There's powerful energy for sure. Yeah. Okay, so the showstopper. The keywords here are enthusiastic, generous, magnetic, pretentious, show off, bossy, extroverted, proud, headstrong, loyal, seeks approval, loving, as well as the ruler of the 5th house. Yeah, we've got a lot of 5th house energy because of Leo for sure. You've got the Enneagram employment security, which is under the category of professional trap. And the keywords here are preservation of assets, exaggerated mistrust, pessimism, distrust of authority, favoring the group, as well as excessive obedience. I have a feeling like this reading is going to be so interesting because of the energies that is already present on the table. I kind of have a feeling, but I don't have an idea. I don't know how, like, yeah, I have a grasp over the energy, but I do not know what it's talking about at all yet. But I kind of have this grasp, and I don't want to try too hard to try to explain to you what I know, because I don't want my mind to interrupt. I want to wait, because I'm sure we'll get this aha moment as the cards show up. Okay, so you've got the sun in Virgo with health, and you've got the card survive disaster. Right. Okay. Well, speaking of surviving disaster, you're healthy and glowing here, which is great. All right, let's take a look at the rest of your cards. This time we'll be pulling out your tarot cards. So you've got the Knight of Pentacles, which makes me feel like a superhero, a winner, something like that. Knight of Pentacles. Right. You've got... Whoa, there's something about the star here. And we keep seeing a lot of stars, the universe. It's almost feels like, and I think I'm glad I waited, because although my sense is correct, but the cards are showing clearer and clearer what this could be talking about in a moment. You've got, whoa, the star again, the King of Pentacles. This is strong, I must say. This is strong. Look at the figure here and the figure here. Right. You've got, whoa, the Judgment card. It looks like everyone is startled here. What's going on? There's something about, look at the stars, look at the heavens. Something about your chart right now is very powerful. And the showstopper, something is about to happen in your life that will be kind of like a showstopper to everyone around you. You're going to shine bright, and everybody's going to be going, whoa. You know, if we look at conspiracy, I told you it was going to come. If we look at conspiracy theory, it's that thing when someone is able to connect many dots together and many information together that other people aren't seeing. Now, it's a theory at the end of the day. They could have a great ability of connecting the dots, right? But the conclusion, is it the correct one or not? That's something to be revealed. But I think the more you connect the dots and the more you are able to see synchronicities, and it's like it becomes where it's at a point of it can't be random. Regardless of the conclusion, it definitely is, with the showstopper here, showing something that needs all our collective attention. And with conspiracy theory, we don't have to always reach the same conclusion that the conspiracy theorist is presenting, although, and that's the best way to go about everything in life, although if they're making a lot of sense, it would be also silly to put it behind us. But what's important when we listen to a conspiracy theorist, a talented person who's capable of connecting the dots, is that we at least have to acknowledge that there is a lot of similarities going on. What we're going to do about it is another thing, but we can't just cancel the whole thing. So there's something here about you noticing something, connecting the dots in a particular way, and I think your judgment about it is really going to startle everyone in this next chapter of change. In your next chapter of change, it is very clear that you always had your eye on something. You've understood something so well. Maybe you weren't respected for it. Maybe you weren't acknowledged for it. And it will allow you to be surviving so well, and maybe a time where others around you are not fully capable of surviving. Perhaps you just knew something so well, and you're like, maybe you're that person who talks to their family, talks to their friends. I'm telling you, can't you see what's going on? And maybe your family, like, you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist, but at least you put some pieces together, maybe when it comes to your work. like you told your colleague, something is going wrong, like something is off here. Or maybe you've noticed something in the economy, or noticed something in your health, or in the health, or whatever. And you've been telling people about it, like, hey, can't you see? It's so clear. It's so clear. And perhaps people weren't ready to at least see the synchronicities, the similarities that you've been presenting. In any case, you have been able to see in a time full of darkness. And because you paid attention, that's not by the way, this is not a punishment for everyone. And it's not either, hey, you're better than everyone else. This reading is simply stating the reaction to the actions that we take. It is saying you were awoken, whether this is because you're lucky or someone who actively connects the dot. You are someone who very early on was awoken to many things that could have been lies, or could have been that didn't make sense in a time of darkness. This is the time, the next chapter of your life, where what you've always been looking at, what you've always been connecting and seeing, will actually start to work for you. And because it's working for you, you're going to stand out with a showstopper. And you're going to be very fortunate in terms of your money, how you appear like a star, like how popular you are, as well as your health. These are three strong areas up next in your life, in your next chapter, that will really startle everyone. I think here, looking at the image here in the judgment card, suddenly everyone awakens. It's like you are a light seer, and you've minded your own business. You've given your back here to society or what your colleagues think, or depending on where this is really, you're like, okay, I'm going to continue on my path to do my own thing. All the best of luck. And you've had the time with the Knight of Pentacles to process it, to take the necessary steps, at least be on the beginning of the correct path, because you're holding that star. You're like, no, I can see something. I've connected the dots, and that is the path I'm choosing to move towards, because it's just not right. It's just not right. And because of your observation skills, because of you being awoken, let's say in a time of, not let's say, that's what the cards are showing, in a time of darkness, being able to see the light in a time of darkness, wow, is really going to serve you in this next chapter of your life. Because I don't want to say anything. The reading is meant to empower everyone and not meant to scare anyone, but it looks with survive disaster that there is something heavy that may happen to the collective, whether it is about a natural disaster, or employment issue, or I don't know, health. I don't know what it is, but and if you're worried about the people around you, we will pull out cards and see how the people around you are gonna be surviving it. Maybe because of you, the people that you love are gonna be okay. I don't know, guys. I don't want to veer, of course, but all I'm saying is that I just read clean water here. In the next chapter of your life, you will be surviving something great that maybe many others couldn't, because you've always had your eyes open and you've been noticing that something is not right. And I think not just in one area, but maybe this is who you are as a person. You're like, oh, that there's something off here, I'm not doing that. There's something off here, I'm going to do that instead. There's something off here, I'm going to avoid this altogether. There's something off here, I'm going to take a different path, and so on. This is who you are. You use your judgment a lot. And it looks like the people around you are in their not awoken mindset, but more like zombie mindset. They are magical beings too, that still haven't tapped. This is the moment here with the Judgment card where you turn out to be right, and you will be the reason. That's why you're a showstopper here, to awaken many, at least in your proximity. You'll have so many people around you going, oh, so pile number one wasn't this crazy weirdo after all, or they weren't saying all these crazy things after all. We laughed a lot, but it looks like they were making a point here. And by the time you've made a point, you're already out of this tough situation. And we'll see what you will be doing for others. We'll find out in a moment. Yeah. But you've taken a journey early on with the Knight of Pentacles. I'll try to see what journey, although I know it's with your Judgment is just who you are. In general, you've just made a lot of, let's say, right decisions, and you've put yourself on the right path in many ways. And it will be serving you greatly in this next chapter of your life. So let's look at the Knight of Pentacles. What sort of decisions and actions, as well as consistent actions, have you been taking that will really serve you in the next chapter? This way, I think you're able to grasp your next chapter first. And as you can see, you're moving towards your dreams. So it's the dichotomy is really, I was going to say, okay, the dichotomy is startling, because, how can I say this? Look, please don't, like, I'm just reading the cards here, okay? It's and maybe it's going to put you in a place to help, but the reason I'm struggling is because of my empathy. My heart breaks saying something like that, but I'm just going to show you what the cards are saying. In a time where others are really suffering, you're way high up there. So that's why I feel so bad. Maybe this is something that I should personally work on. But I feel like you are going to be way up there while others are unfortunately in a disastrous situation. So perhaps this is happening because obviously with the Star and the Pentacles, you being a light being, first of all, you're waking a lot up. Because if there wasn't an example like you, it would be deemed as maybe that's the normal thing. Another thing, perhaps you being a light seer, this means that you're getting all of this. Your awakening is going to help assist others during time like that. So back to the Knight of Pentacles. Oh, this is moving too. Right, I'll take that. The Knight of Pentacles. What are the steps that you have been taking, my dear pile number one, that will be the very reason that in this next chapter you're doing okay? So this is the Five of Wands. You've seen through the challenges. These are the challenges, the Five of Wands card. You were amongst those who recognized the challenges, the massive challenges ahead. You were all looking ahead, far ahead, and you were able to see through the cracks or through these challenges. Like you weren't busy looking at the challenges themselves, but more about looking ahead, which is challenging. You know why? Because when you are so challenged about employment security, for example, you're already busy solving something in your life. How can you have the time to look beyond that, like 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now, or what you need to take care of that are not issues right now, when you're already facing something challenging? I think when you have awareness, good awareness, you can tend to have the space to also think about what's ahead. So you've noticed the challenges ahead. You're like, okay, I recognize my challenges now, but I think what's coming could be more challenging. And this is why it's important to plan ahead and focus more on the challenges ahead rather than easing up my challenges today. Yeah. Knight of Pentacles and Five of Wands. This is definitely the sort of energy I'm picking up here. So you're very wise, and particularly you, not just about your future, because a lot of people can be aware of making sure that they're okay in the future. But I think you more likely so were worried about, you could see some patterns. You've understood that there are some particular type of challenges that were going to happen, whether this is health or wealth, or this card is here for a reason, employment security. Perhaps you were worried about your employment state, what you're going to do, right? And so you've already taken steps so that you're not entrapped, yeah, in different areas of life. Wealth, employment, health, something like that. The Hanged Man. That required you to be uncomfortable. All of these things, like choosing, for example, with health, choosing to do the uncomfortable things. Maybe you are someone who exercises, you're someone who chooses better options. Oh, like you've done a lot of uncomfortable things, it seems, Knight of Pentacles, that other would deem as, oh, that's too uncomfortable for me. I'm already going through a lot of challenges and I really don't have the mind to think about these things. And perhaps your theory here was, you have to do these things because if you don't like it now, it may not be good at all later. So it shows that you were consistent. Maybe you weren't taking massive steps with the Knight of Pentacles, but at the very least you were consistent. It's not about going there fast, but you know, you're trying your best here with the Knight of Pentacles. Everything that you've gotten, you know what your hopes and your dreams are. You can see the massive challenges ahead. You're more awoken and aware than others around you. And you've chosen to go through the discomfort of many things today and not just be so comfortable, because you first of all, here you have a lot of dreams, which is what the reading is about as well. You're holding the star, you have a lot of dreams, and you can see the challenges. Both these aspects have pushed you to see beyond the current challenges, and although it was challenging, on top of that, you were one of the few people who decided to create more discomfort in a time that was already challenging. So think about it this way. You finish work, you want to come back and just relax, but then you're like, I got to go to the gym. I got to eat better. I'm going to relax, of course, but I'm going to avoid relaxing in this particular way because this particular way harms people. Or I'm going to avoid spending all of this money. So I'm only going to go out Mondays and Thursdays. I don't know. All I'm trying to say through these examples is that I see in your cards that although you weren't taking massive steps per se with the Knight of Pentacles, but you were very consistent in the small things that you've done that were already super uncomfortable, that were uncomfortable in a time that's already I'm gonna put my phrase together, challenging. Yeah. In a time that's already challenging. Yeah, so that the Fool card. Oh, you were here not just okay, I'm almost picking up happy. Happy to be called a fool. There's something so nonchalant about you, my dear pile number one. I feel like this is the most self-assured clown I've seen. Do you not feel the same here? They feel confident. They don't have this usual clowny feature, like expressions. They seem serene almost as well. calm, serene, happy, following their heart. So I feel like in this pile, especially that's falling under the Judgment card, which is another major arcana, you seem to me like you're so comfortable in being in a spot where so many judge you as a fool. You seem to be very happy walking to the beat of your own drums, doing your own thing, following what you believe in and know is right. You don't care about stares. You don't care about people going, what is that? or anything like that. You are so comfortable in so many others judging you as a fool. And I think this was liberating. It liberated you to veer off course from the collective path, which is something that is wonderful. Whether you've worked on this or you're naturally like that, it's definitely something that has helped you out. And so you've consistently stayed true to yourself, is what I'm seeing. No matter what the judgment of others were at all, you've consistently stayed true to yourself, is the best way I can say this. No matter how harshly you were judged about something, you stayed stable, doing the thing that may be uncomfortable, walking your own path. You don't care if others are like judging you, side-eyeing you, seeing you as a fool. You don't care. And that definitely helped you. All the decisions based on this state is what you're going to thank yourself for in the near future. Ace of Swords, you thought for yourself. You consistently thought for yourself, made the decisions that stayed true to you, not collective decisions. You've researched with the Ace of Swords. You've constantly tried to find clarity for all the things that you were confused about. I think you connecting the dots in this way brought up a lot of questions that obviously made you want to research. And all of the things you've learned about, connecting the dots in the way that you do, will prove to be very helpful and your lucky star when things change. So I'm really like, I want to know, what is it that I want to know about you? Although the cards are answering the question, I want to know, oh, maybe the cards are not going to show that, because I think each one is going to have, has done something different than the other. I guess what I'm trying to find out is going to be through you. Please use the comment section to tell others what steps you've taken, because you can be awakening them from now. And believe me, people do read the comment section, and if you help one person today because of the things you're doing, this will really be great karma for you, and you will be the lights here that you are awakening others. So yeah, maybe a lot of people don't listen. Some will listen. I will listen. I will totally listen. And looking at the cards here, I will totally listen. So please, yeah, just refer you were from pile number 1, and what exact actions were you taken, as much as you can remember, that perhaps others have seen as a conspiracy. Yeah. And finally, you've got the High Priestess, your spirituality, strong intuition. There's something about you that just knows. Yeah, with the High Priestess. You've always trusted yourself. You've trusted what your inner voice was saying. Oh my God, all of these things, although maybe your regular life, they're going to prove to be the best things that will support you in a time of massive change. So you've consistently listened to your inner voice, to your intuition. If something is off, even if everyone is saying it's right, or authority says it's right, or the textbook says it's right, you're like, I don't know. You trusted yourself. So yeah, these are the things that I see you've done. And let's now take a look at what's arriving. Now that we have a good idea about the truth about the next chapter of change, we've already gotten so much into that. Um, yeah, you've gotten so much into the truth of this next chapter. The truth is that you've always known what's right. You followed your heart, and it will prove to be correct. That's the harsh truth in a time of great change. Right. So what's arriving that you've been waiting for, my dear pile number one? Wow, the star and the sun. Wow. And that's what you have all around in your reading from the very beginning. The stars and the sun. Wow, the stars and the sun. Cyrus, hold on. There's something strong about Cyrus this year. Cyrus plays, because it started showing up in the readings recently, and I told you I don't know why Cyrus is showing up. So I've researched this and I've realized that there's a Cyrus portal. There's a very strong portal this year. And it is, as I've understood, because of the Kali Yuga, the massive changes that humanity is going through, it's a portal for those who are awakened to see it, something like that. And so seeing the star and the sun here for you, I would say you're definitely one of the ones that will pass through this portal. Yeah, transcend through this portal. And you're not going to go through the sufferings that it seems some others, or maybe many others, may be going through. So going back to what's arriving that you've been waiting for. Now we understand what's going on. The Five of Swords. I feel like you're out of the suffering, or out of the bullying, out of the pain, out of something about out of the collective trap. Yeah, some form of trap. You're out of it. You're outside. You're out now. You're outside looking in. You're out. So there's something so liberating here where you're like, oh, I'm out. I'm not part of this. Wow, I'm out. Wow. Hermit. Yeah, I was just looking at you here. I'm out. So I feel like you're looking for freedom with the Hermit here. You've gone through your own path, and the path of the Hermit is dark, but they reach the light at the end of the tunnel, while following first their own light, which never dims. So I would say you're looking for freedom, looking at the Hermit here. And freedom has been so important to you that you were aware of it from a very long time ago. From a very long time. You see the back here. Figures are always giving the back. It's like, I don't care about this world right now. I'm only looking towards the future. And you're really hoping. I feel like your hope here is to be free. Free from what? You want to be out of a particular trap. Yeah, perhaps a health trap, a security, work trap, financial trap. You're out of a trap, and you can see the guards here scaring everyone. You're out of it. Seven of Swords, what can I tell you? The Seven of Swords is an escape card. All you're reading is saying you're out of the trap. You're free. Ah, my God. So freedom to you means not being entrapped by employment, or it doesn't have to be specifically employment, anything that you feel is entrapping you. You're not entrapped by bad health. You're not entrapped by money. I feel like in this next chapter of your life, you're absolutely free. And that entails you being an absolute light for others. And I'm going to pull out two cards to see how you're going to be helping others with your light. And you're going to be popular in this next chapter of your life, of course, without trying here. And you're going to have great health. Finances, yeah, you're not stuck with anything. You're just enjoying your life here in this next chapter of your life. You're empowered. You're out. And you've been trying to get out for so long. I want to ask, how are you going to help people? What did I want to ask here? I wanted to expand your reading, which I will. Like, what's next? what's going to happen next for you that will show you that you're getting out. Yeah, right there. And how are you going to help people? Knight of Swords. You're going to, now it will become your mission, Knight of Swords. It will become the Knight of Swords. They can't see anything else but their mission. They're moving very quickly towards something, and they're not considering anything else. They only have one mission. That's all they care about, and that's what they're going to go and do. So it's going to become your mission, your mind's mission, your faith to help free everyone. And King of Wands, and you're going to have that power. That's the thing. The light being that owns their own power, and so they are able to free other light beings. That's so beautiful. You will have the power, the resources, the health, the freedom, everything to do it. What is your next sign here? Like, what event is going to happen that shows you that you're on the precipice of escaping? Eight of Wands. Queen of Cups. Well, up next is not really on you. Up next is you'll be seeing a lot of movement, many changes that are about to happen. Many with the Eight of Wands. And the more the changes happen, the weirdly enough, the more you're fulfilled with the Queen of Cups and more balanced. Like you can see the environment here is still flooding, as in it's talking about how things are really changing intensely. But this Queen of Cups is at peace. So I think what's next is exactly what the reading is suggesting. This next chapter, what's about to happen next is this story. Many things changing. You'll be able to carry those you love around you. Yeah, that's what's next. I can't lie to you, this reading really makes us pause, doesn't it? But for you, my dear pile number one, you're going to be doing well. You're going to be fighting for everyone. I'm sending you so much love. Please don't forget to advise others, because you can help so many others before this begins. And my dear pile number one, thank you so much for tuning into the reading. If you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. And my dear pile number one, I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number two. Welcome to your reading. Today we're taking a look at what's arriving that you've been waiting for, and also the truth about your next chapter of change. Pile number one was so interesting. I highly recommend it if you were drawn to it. You have no idea how interesting it was. Yeah, and let's see what you have in your reading. Very quickly, let me introduce your pile to you. Your crystal is the beautiful Carnelian. Your significator card is the Mansplainer Extraordinaire. And if you've picked your pile using your zodiac signs, then in that case, the signs for this pile are Taurus, Pisces, Gemini, as well as Libra. Welcome to reading. If these are not your signs, please don't worry about it. It's just another way for others to pick their piles as well. I also finally want to mention, if you're interested in knowing the names of any of the decks that I use, you'll find that I always list them below for you guys. Okay, I think we are pretty much ready. Let's get straight into it and take a look at your oracle cards first. Sorry, there we go. Right, so you've got Venus and Aries with lust. Jupiter, wow, with the keyword abundance. I love this for you. Growth, expansion. Of course, it's tied to Sagittarius and Pisces. We have Pisces in this pile. Maybe you're also a Sagittarius. Thursday, higher education, philosophy, good luck, optimism, faith, generosity, as well as prosperity. Love, love, love your cards. You've got the Enneagram Discovery under the category of service to humanity. And the keywords are adventurous, flexibility, freedom, touristic guide, events in industry, as well as restaurant owner. Okay. I'm not sure. Everything is not tied together in this card, to be honest with you. What? Discovery, service to humanity, tourist guide? What? Flexibility? Like adventurous and discovery, I guess. Maybe you're going to discover some events in the industry or where you are at or something. Yeah, restaurant owner. That Enneagram is not making a lot of sense to me, but oh, guys, when I was putting this here and looked at mansplainer, this suddenly makes sense. You know how the expression of mansplainer, it explains a man who has never been who has never had the experience of being in a woman's body, that tends to explain to the woman how she should feel, like how she should feel in her period, for example, or anything like that that they haven't gone through themselves, or period, things like menopause, birth, you name it. So that's definitely not all men, but the expression, as you know, is related to some men who do that. And so now that I look at everything and how it doesn't make sense, I think you're gonna be hearing a lot of things soon, initially at least, to humanity. Maybe there are so many things that are just gonna be spurred out to people, and you're gonna go, what? Like, no, can you say what you're saying one more time? Because I genuinely don't understand how everything you're talking about are connected. Are you just like throwing words out of your pocket? What's going on here? So I kind of feel something like that when it comes to what you should expect next in this next chapter. There's gonna be a lot of like loud noises, people speaking, and what they're saying isn't making sense anymore. And you can see the mansplainer is in conjunction to the lust card, and it doesn't make sense in my opinion, because they don't care about what they're saying. Whoever this is, we'll find out in your reading. They're mainly concerned about what they want. And so perhaps they're in a desperate attempt to just say anything that hits home so that they can get what they want. It almost feels like a panic attack. Someone who has a loud microphone is going through some form of panic, and they're just like saying anything, mansplaining what they've done or what's going on or what you should be feeling. Yeah, mansplaining is as in telling you that you should be okay, that you should feel good, explaining your situation to you. And I think with discovery, you're going to start discovering that something is absolutely not right here. Yeah, I think you're going to discover the hidden agenda or the hidden desires behind what they're trying to say. Ooh, that's going to be a juicy reading. Let's continue. You've got, Mercury in Scorpio with extremism. You see, there's someone here who's trying to control someone else, not in the right way either. Whether through violence or whether through contractual, contracts that they have or rules, I don't know, but they are doing it in an extreme way here. And it's to their own detriment, whoever this is. I'm sure maybe you don't know who this person is yet. We'll find out, like I said. But it's going to be to your own great luck that this person loses control in this way. You know, I suddenly have in my mind this image of this person not caring anymore. Like this person had all of these things to control someone or others. Oh, I'm gonna fire you. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And suddenly this person is like so tired of this form of abuse from this person that they genuinely suddenly don't care anymore. Like, yeah, do whatever you want to do. Like, I really don't care. At this point, this person starts losing absolute control, because that's what they were depending on to control others or control you in this situation. But you lost the desire to keep something. You're like, lack of peace, freaking bring it on. You're gonna take my job, just take it. You're not gonna give me, I don't know, this, I don't want it. There's something about that here where you're at a precipice of going, I don't care. And it's almost like the universe was waiting for you to reach this point, because that's the liminal point, liminal line between the sort of abuse that you were going through and the abundance that's waiting for you on the other side. So let's continue. You've got, you see Sun in Capricorn with achievement. Wow. And you've got idiot. Yeah. Someone's here in their attempts to try to control you, and they try to bring it up a notch, and you're not engaging anymore. You're like, yeah, whatever. Do. And they're like, I'm literally, that's not allowed on YouTube. So let's just put that here. Pew, pew. I'm literally going to pew, pew, I don't know, myself, or I'm going to pew, pew to get over this small problem. And they're like bringing it up a notch higher and higher, acting like an idiot at this point. And you're like, do what you need to do, my dear. Like, it seems like I don't have control here at all. And you're done. And that's going to be so stupid what they do here. Right, let's continue. You've got the Seven of Wands. The Page of Wands. A lot of energy. Woo! All this wands, all this volcanoes. It almost feels like there's a lot of energy pent up on Earth or something. And this energy has to come out, affecting everyone, and it's perhaps affecting you because you were already on the high, and this energy pushed you to reach your limit, and you're like, I'm done. But this person is getting riled up by this energy that's coming out of this earth. You know, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just imagining as I'm looking at the cards and reading it intuitively. If it doesn't make sense, please just disregard what I'm saying. But I feel like when I want to say something and not block my creative flow, I'm just going to say it. Right. So you've got the Six of Cups. You've got the Nine of Wands. The Knight. Oh, right. The Nine of Wands and the Knight of Wands, which instantly reminds me of a manipulative tactic of saying Knight of Wands and then going back saying Knight of Wands, and then someone would say, didn't you just say Knight of Wands? And then the person says, no, I said Nine of Wands. The reason that I'm reading it in this context and not in the context of being misheard is because we've got the mansplainer here. We've got extreme energy here, and we're trying to figure out what they're planning or what they're doing and what's about to happen, right? So we're seeing some form, I would say, of gaslighting, looking at this Nine of Wands and the Knight of Wands. And finally, let's pull out this card. Ooh, look at that. On the other side of this situation, there's a massive abundance and achievements waiting for you to discover. So let's break it down. What do we have? We are looking with the Seven of Wands at a person or a situation, someone in charge, somehow, who has been the cause of great challenges. And I feel like for the longest time, you stood there trying to block any harm that they were throwing your way. You're like, I'm going to be the best goaler out there. I see the situation is tough, but you seem to be a proactive person who's built a lot of grit and muscles, particularly with this Page of Wands. And you're like, you're not going to get a goal from me here. You're not going to get a goal from this side. And you're like standing there being the best goaler ever. And when this person or this comes up with this rule or this action, you're like, fine, I'm gonna secure myself by coming early into the morning, or I'm gonna secure myself through, I don't know, saving. I'm going to secure myself through not letting this person know about everything. I'm going to secure myself through contracts. I don't know. Depending on how this resonates with you, you're like, right, I got this. And you've been standing there being a great goaler, protecting your life or whatever the situation is that you're protecting for the longest time. And this person has picked up that you always take strong measures to protect yourself. And so they've realized that all they need to do now is not the action itself, but to make you think that you're an actual goaler playing hockey. They put you in this mind frame that you're not in. Look at this person, they're in the free world, right? They don't have to do that. But they've started to realize that you're convinced that you are in this defensive mood, and all they need to do is just talk. Like, I'm going to do this to you next week if you don't hand in the report, or I'm going to ask for my house back because of this clause in this contract that I haven't been using against you. And you name it. This person have realized that all that they need to do is blah, 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 blah. And they've done so much blabbering that you're really about to go, you know what? Yeah, threaten all you want. I'm done. Yeah, like you want to take the job, take it. You want to take the house, what do you want? Just take it. I'm done. And as we've explored here, this person is like, uh-oh, I've got to do something that seems crazy now with idiot. I have to do something crazy because this person is looking at me like an idiot. They're not affected anymore. I have to get my pew, for example. That's just an example. So maybe that would terrorize them. And you're done. You're done. It looks like you're going to be recognizing the gaslighting in this moment. Oh. The reason you're not going to care is because, yes, you're definitely done with this. But I feel like, first of all, you're done. But then when this person takes it up a notch, this is the moment you recognize that this is gaslighting. Okay, you see what's going on here? First of all, you're done. But you know that bad things are about to happen in your point of view, based on the contract or whatever this person is saying out loud, trying to get their desires here. And at some point, you're like, fine. If that's what they need to do, I am done standing like this. You're just done. Whatever. You've given up. The moment you let that go, this person now has to really bring it up in such a crazy way because they're terrorized that you're not afraid anymore. At this point, when they do that, you are going to recognize the gaslighting. You're going to hear it. You're like, no, I'm pretty sure you said Knight of Wands. And no, I said Nine of Wands. Metaphorically speaking. This is the moment when you realize that this person's an idiot. They don't really have much going on. Do they have some things? Yeah. But are they as big as they show themselves to be? Oh no, they aren't. And you will realize at this point that you've actually been free from the grasp of this person a very long time ago, but you just kept playing the game here. You will discover, now it's starting to make sense, how you've actually been free from this person or this situation a long time ago. Restaurant owner, maybe you work in a restaurant, maybe this just simply means your workplace, or maybe not. It's just a detail that I see here. Industry, maybe you work in the tourist industry. Yeah. In any case, maybe this is someone with adventurers preventing you from roaming free. Who knows? But you're gonna hear the gaslighting here, and you're not gonna be under the threat or the power of this person any longer. you're going to start taking the situation much lightly with this particular Six of Cups that's being playful here. I feel like you are going to start feeling, I don't know, I'm feeling or hearing a laugh in my head. Some moment that you laugh at yourself when you realize how someone was so loud and they don't have nearly, not just half, most of the things they were talking about. I feel like it's a moment where you're liberated and you laugh at yourself and laugh at how crazy this was. Laugh at how happy you feel free, like this is not the reality at all. So what are you gonna do? You've already built muscles here. The situation gave you a lot of muscles. It gave you a lot of grit. It gave you a lot of power, although you're feeling powerless, but it really did give you a lot of power somewhere else. Like, for example, here would be muscular power, but in one way or the other, over time, it gave you the power of patience. Like, for example, I'll give you an example here. Power of tolerance is what I'm trying to talk about. And power of tolerance is so important because there was this comment that I read on, I think, Instagram Reels a long while ago, I think 3-4 months ago, and it gave me such a huge perspective. I don't know, there was this online conspiracy that they're gonna turn the lights off everywhere around the world. And initially I was like, oh, what? And then someone in the comment section says, oh, you guys, you're just like, you're weaklings. You guys are such weaklings. I don't know what country exactly this person was writing this from. Here in our country, our electricity gets cut off a lot, like even for days sometimes. And we know how to deal with it. We're not going to be threatened when this happens. Are you guys okay? Well, like, why are you so afraid of that? And of course, that entails a lot of other things. But this person definitely, I'm so glad we're all connected around the world because we hear each other. That person like really gave me a perspective. First of all, I was like, I'm not going to get into all of this scary energy. I mean, if anything proves to be worthy, then we'll focus on it. But I was thinking, it's so true. When we get so used to something, we are so afraid of not having this luxury anymore. And so it just entails learning or relearning how to take care of oneself if something like that happens, instead of living in fear. So all this example and all of these thoughts is because here I'm seeing the real power that you've built is grit, muscles here. You've built grit. And so because of the harsh situation that you have gone through, it seems to me that you will have a lot of fun exploring and using this power of tolerance that you have to reach new highs. These new highs and achievement is going to lead to massive abundance in your life and great wealth. So to you, for example, you could be thinking, because my manager was, for all of these years, they threatened to fire me. I've made nothing but save all of these years just to be okay. And so instead of being threatened, now that you know that this person doesn't have any sort of authority over you, you're like, why don't I use what I've built here, like the money that I've saved because of these threats, to actually go out and seek and explore something that I will feel super excited about, something that I will really love, now that I have that grit, that strength to be able to endure that process. So that's one example of your next chapter of your life. It depends on what this situation is. Whatever it is, I just want you to know that you have built some form of grit, power, tolerance, or something that gives you tolerance to be able to not just explore something much higher or achieve something much higher. Not only that, but you are going to have a lot of fun during this adventure. Yeah, that's why adventure, discovery. As you're discovering this new world, creating and discovering this new world for yourself, discovering the possibilities, the new possibilities. In fact, it is going to be one of the most pleasurable times, because although you haven't reached your destination, but you haven't felt this sort of fun in such a long time. You're really going to be so immersed in enjoying this discovery of you exploring. And it is only there, this possibility, because of the grit and the advantages that this grit has given you during your time of extreme. This person will lose power over you completely, and you will skip over them. They have this barricade, and you will fly with flying colors over this barricade, bypassing them altogether, because to you, you've discovered that they are powerless, and you've discovered your power, which is the motorcycle here, and you're like, vroom, and you're flying over them. You're like, adios, muchachos. I'm sure I said this wrong, but yeah. Goodbye, my dear. Where you are going is so high. You don't have Jupiter here for no reason. Jupiter is the planet of massive expansion and great luck, and as well as abundance. In this new path that you are going to be moving towards with a lot of fun, this is going to be such a lucky path, full of abundance, and you will be getting very soon in this next chapter of your life generously for your achievements and for whatever it is that you are doing. So if this is like your work, then you are creating massive achievements in this next chapter, in this very thing that you're exploring, and you're getting generously paid for it. Yeah, that's just an example. It doesn't have to be money. It could be health. It could be results for something that you really want. But yeah, somebody's here is definitely going to start being exposed, especially in the last lie that is over-exaggerated, that makes them look like an idiot, and it makes their gaslighting so clear. And so the truth about your next chapter of change is that you've had power for so long, you just didn't recognize it because you were busy engaging in the game. The truth is that there was someone always lying here about the sort of power that they have in order to achieve their desires. And the truth is that everything you've gone through will be giving you the biggest power of your life. It's going to make you so strong in a time where this person wants to make it so hard for you. You're like, yeah. I've saved up. Or yeah. I've built muscles. I can climb over this. I'm good. Something like that. Or yeah. I've learned about this topic. I'm good. Yeah, this period has given you the grit and the strength that you need to pursue what your heart wants, which seems like it wasn't the case for so long. Wow. So that's the truth. What's arriving is very clear as well. It's abundance, massive achievements and abundance, as well as liberation from this extreme sort of power. So that's what's arriving. Let's look at the chain of events. Two of Pentacles. Something will suddenly, through what they're throwing out, we know that everything that they're throwing out will seem as a bomb. The weapons here are really weird. I don't know, like it seems like they will choose the option of terror. Yeah. So what's up next? So are you in this state of going, I'm done? Maybe. Are you? Wheel of Fortune. Well, you're in the state where you can see the corruption and the risks. Yeah, I think you have a glance over how things are turning, tossing and turning and moving. Yeah, you're at the point where you have an idea that things aren't moving with pure luck or fate, naturally. You can see that there are a lot of hands involved here. You do have a peak. You're at the point where you're like, oh, I get it. It's just this person, they want to achieve their desires. That's what's going on. And so what's next is that this person will be using this great weapon of fear or of terror. Well, I'm gonna do this because I'm explaining to you how this is gonna be beneficial to you, but they know that they're terrorizing you, right? So that's what's next. Knight of Swords, you now understand the truth. This time you're making a massive move. You're not seeing anything but the truth this time. You are going to be making this move. They bring this terrorizing act and you're like, I'm only going to do what's right for me. You move away from them. You overlook them now. They're not what you're looking at. So you're at this point. You're at the point of realizing that you were part of a game. You're not playing this game anymore. You can see what they're trying to terrorize with. You deem them as an idiot. And you suddenly realize with the Knight of Swords that you have the grit to move away, that you don't have to follow any of this. You're like, you know what? This time gave me the power to do ... And then next with the Page of Swords, it looks like ooh, I missed that one. It looks like you will be protecting it, like you're paying a lot of attention. Same card here. Thank you. I didn't notice that one. You're paying a lot of attention, making sure that for whatever little power that they actually have, they can't use it. So you're protecting it. You're standing there guarding this achievement that you're creating. Hiding it well, protecting it well, so that they don't use the whatever little power they have. Nine of Swords, and I'm hearing wong, 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 looking at this in the Nine of Swords. It's almost like they tune up. They tone it up more. They tone up the frequency, trying to scare you more. It's the last card. It's the last card this person has. And we have the last card here too. So it's that last card. You're out of control. This person doesn't have control over you. You're also smart. You're guarding this. You're overpassing them. So okay, so here it wasn't that big one. It was the usual scare that they would give you. And then they would tone it up. Wow, 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 wow. Justice. And you liberate yourself right away. They tone it up and you think they're idiots. It's not working. This is the moment of truth. This is the great moment of liberty. This is the moment that will signify that this person has completely lost power over you. Completely, because that's about as loud as it gets. Wow, wow, wow. You're not taking it. You're not taking it. Remember when I told you, in fact, there's a point where you start laughing, like it says idiot here. It goes, whoa, whoa, and you're like, yeah. We're tired of this noise, my goodness. It's done. It's marked as done. Very interesting reading about your next chapter of change. Wow. And yeah, you're just focused on now getting your achievement. No one and nothing can stop you anymore. It was just the desire of someone or something to take and achieve what they want by using you. Once you discover this, which is happening these days, or already realizing that there is some playing going on, you're free. You're free. And that's coming with their next threat. That's the choices of threats they use. Where you're going to go, that's it, I'm done. I'm out of this game. And you move towards what you want. You protect it. They bring it up a notch. And at this point, you're like, they're idiots, right? This person is an idiot. And this will be the moment of truth. Of you being fully free from a situation like this forever. And my dear pile number 2, this is exactly what I see in your reading. I hope it brought you the clarity that you need in your particular situation. My heart is with you. But yeah, you're such a hero, my dear pile number 2. I'm sending you so much love. And if you've enjoyed your reading, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. And my dear pile number 2, I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. Today we're taking a look at what's arriving that you've been waiting for and the truth about your next chapter of change. The last 2 piles were super interesting. I can't wait to see what we have in your pile. And by the way, these are the decks that I'll be using in your reading. If you're interested in knowing the names of any of them, you'll find that I always list them below for you guys. But very quickly, let me introduce your pile to you. Your crystal is beautiful, my God. It's the Rainbow Aura Quartz. Your significator card is Toilet Paper Hoarder. And if you've picked your pile using your zodiac signs, then in that case, the signs for this pile are Scorpio, Aquarius, Leo, as well as Virgo. Welcome to your reading. If these are not your signs, please don't worry about it. It's just another way for others to pick their piles as well. Okay, so let's get straight into it. And we'll be taking a look at your oracle cards first. Right, so you've got the card Mercury and Pisces with inspiration. You've got the Enneagram self-glorifying under the category of professional trap. And the keywords are sacrificing its private life, being arrogant, yeah, because they talk too much about themselves, perhaps, sacrificing its private life. Its private life? Anyways, being arrogant, show off, workaholic, crushing others, prioritizing its goals. The Enneagram, okay, their goals. All right. So you've got the moon with the keyword emotions. Moon in astrology with the keyword emotions, and the other keywords are moods, intuition, personal needs. Speaking of personal needs, Monday, the day Monday, the sign Cancer, of course, the unconscious, comfort, feelings, family, home, reflecting, yin, as well as femininity. Lovely. Okay. Can I place this here? I can do that. You've got spacecraft, moon and spacecraft. How interesting. Interstellar travel. Okay. You've got the cards Venus and Aries with lust. Venus again in Libra with indecision. And you've got the moon in Cancer with friendship. I feel like time is ticking, tick-tock, tick-tock, and you're before something disastrous happens, and yeah, although it's coming near, you still don't know what to do. You're like, I don't know. Something like that. All right, let's take a look at your tarot cards. So you've got the Three of Swords. The Five of Wands. Yeah, I'm picking up something on pain causes people to act in a specific way. Emotions, inspiration, as in emotions, are what's moving you or people or something. Yeah, this reading is going to show us the truth about the next chapter of change. So let's leave it show us. The moon again. Whoa. Got a lot of moons here. Right? The Four of Swords. Ace of Pentacles. Wow, and this one moved, and as well as this one. So let's take them. And focus on your cards. What's arriving that you've been waiting for, and the truth about your next chapter of change. Like the toilet paper hoarder, that was definitely an emotional reaction during that time of our lives when we were all in our homes and we weren't allowed out during that particular year, because of the panini, as some YouTubers call it. Yeah, and this led to so many people being so worried about what to do if there was no toilet paper. And that was a thing back then, right? So I feel like your reading here is talking about decisions that you've been taking due to intense emotions, whether this is acquiring or hoarding some things that, yes, are of course useful. Oh my God. But the amount that you get out of, like, how much you get of something, perhaps financial decisions, that's was driven by your emotions. There's something about the intensity of emotions driving you to how, in terms of how you present yourself, your desires driving you, your connections with others. I feel like there's a emotional trap going on here. There's something about the truth of your next chapter. First of all, you realize the truth of the previous one, and that was in the previous chapter, which is the one right now. You were absolutely controlled by your emotions, particularly your pains. Oh, I gotta have enough of that. Oh, I'm not gonna get my desires if I don't do that or get that or have that or be that. Some form of FOMO here as well. Oh, I might lose my friend, or I might, yeah, you get what I mean. You're inspired. The first truth you will learn is that you were, a lot of the things and the decisions or the lack of in your life that was taken was almost with the volcano here, involuntary, because your emotions were running the show. That does not take the power of you doing what you want, but you're realizing how much of the things that you were doing were actually driven by your emotions. Yeah, that's why we've got the moon here and the dogs looking in the moon card at the moon. I feel like a lot of the things you were saying as well, dogs signify throat chakra. They also signify protection, how you were protecting yourself, the things you were saying, the things you were doing, how it was all due to emotions. It will really surprise you. Perhaps if we look at spacecraft and we think about UFOs and star beings and all of that, we usually think about them being more developed than us, because they have the spacecrafts and they're already traveling, going interstellar, like between one star or one galaxy to another. So we tend to usually think of them as being like more developed, at least in technology, than we are when we think about aliens. So I feel like this is saying you will learn just how much in this next chapter the truth of what your reality is and how much control you actually have over yourself. And I see that in the next chapter of your life with the Four of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles, you begin having a full grasp over your peace of mind mainly, and how you don't have to be in part of most of the challenges with the Five of Wands that you were part of. Not because these challenges are going to go away, and not because much is going to necessarily, I'm not saying they won't, but necessarily change. I feel like in the next chapter of your life, you're learning to be at peace and have a full grasp over your mind. You're not waiting for something on the outside to make you feel better, to make you feel secure, to have fun being part of. I feel like in this next chapter of your life, you're learning to let go. You're developing as a being. You're learning so much information with spacecraft here beyond this limited reality that the limited loop that you were thinking in and taking decisions in. Under, like, the lights coming in so many colors. You're learning so many things, perhaps super developed things or out of this world information, that it is teaching you to attune to your emotions in a way where you can listen to them, but they're not in control of you. So I'm seeing a lot of mental peace in this next chapter of your life. I see you have a full grasp. Like before, maybe something or the other would make you feel temporarily better. In this next chapter of your life, you fully have a grasp over your mental peace and peace in your world. Whether this keeps going, the heartbreak keeps going, the challenge, it's gonna be there. It's part of the world. It's gonna be there. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not there. I feel like for you, it doesn't matter anymore what's outside, because the way the outside enters the inside is through your own filters, the filters that you are using to stay internally at peace. So you're attuning to your emotions, or more clearly, you're seeing your emotions and just how much effect it has over your life. And you learn how to communicate with it and how to protect yourself from its harm at the same time. And that's not by changing the outside, but more about your inner world. Whoa! And you've got the Ten of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. Here is the zoom in of the hand of the Knight of Pentacles. And so you take a grasp over your world. You start feeling like you have a grasp in general over your whole life, not just your inner world. It's like, because we know here that it was your emotions that were running the show to an extent, I feel like that's really going to surprise you. Like, we all know, of course, how much emotions tend to have an effect over our lives. But I think in your pile, you're going to be flabbergasted by like having an overview of to what extent your emotions were actually having control over your life, over the inspirations that you have, who you present yourself to be, what you desire to have, and the sort of decisions, and even down to the friendships and the people you meet. So there's something about that here. And you're realizing that if you filter the outside world properly, in the right, in the in a wise way, in the right mindset, if you're in the right mindset and you have this grasp over your inner world, you start seeing yourself in this next chapter of your life being fully in control of your life and the steps that you want to take. You're like, I want to be able to do better with my money. So you're able to do that. I want to take action towards the things that inspire me. I no longer want to look at it from the outside. You start taking steps. I want to be able to take decisions on the important things in my life. And you're like, I got that. I want to be able to find my real friends, my real tribe, and so on. We can go on and on. This is who I believe I am. You claim that. I don't want to fall into the trap of being admired by others, whatever this is. You're like, tick, tick, tick. There's a grasp here in your new life. Beginning steps, consistent steps towards all of the things that you actually want to do, where it's not your emotions running the show anymore. It is you actually doing what you deem as wise, what you actually believe you want to do. I am seeing that this leads to a lot of happiness and a wonderful community with the 10 of Cups. This is leading to these two things in particular in the next chapter of your life. Perhaps what you've waited for was mental peace, was having a grasp over yourself and over your life. And particularly as well, not just watching yourself taking consistent actions towards all the things that you always wanted to do, but there's also something here about you wanting to be part of a beautiful community. That's also up next in your life with the 10 of Cups. Not just a small community, but a beautiful, happy, big, happy community. And you'll find yourself enjoying your life with a lot of wonderful people. So that's what's going on here in this next chapter of change. And we can already see what was the truth about your life and the truth about this next chapter of change. So let's see how this is going to happen, my dear pile number 3. How this is going to happen for you and what it's leading to. So you've got the Queen of Cups. Yeah, emotional balance, healer, healing the pains. So there's an aspect here of healing your pains, right? To heal your pains, you're going to be balanced. Part of you is going to be stable, and the other part of you will allow you to tune into your emotions. So it's neither blocking your emotions nor just being totally immersed in it. You want to have this balanced perspective of being grounded, but at the same time allowing your emotions to flow through you, which reminds me of meditation. So maybe some of you are going to meditate, or who knows what you're doing here, because with spacecraft, you're going to discover a lot of things about emotions and how to deal with them. Here, you're going to have top-notch information. And I see you being grounded, yet fully emotionally in tune with yourself and how you feel. And somehow you will be able to beautifully heal. I'm so curious about what you're discovering. Wow, can we get a peek, please? Is that okay? Well, we're getting all these cards, so I think this is saying be patient. It's gonna show it. Okay, lovely. All right, so the Fool card. This is a totally new technique that you will be doing. Even if it's the same thing, but with the Fool card, it's still new. Like in, for example, let's say you're working with herbs. It's not something new. You will still be working with herbs, but it's the combination of what herbs and at what time, for example. Or let's say this is meditation, so nothing new there, but it is how you do it, when you do it, in what way, shift of mindset that you do it. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. But different type of meditation, for example, I don't know. But it's almost saying it's not an entirely new concept, but the application is entirely new here. The sun, it absolutely leads to full healing. Whoa! This reminds me of these moments in time where we discover something revolutionary with regards to our health or mental health that suddenly helps people take massive leaps towards their health. It's something like that here. You will really be learning something so enlightening. It will put you at peace. It will make you feel empowered, like you know what to do, and you're just going to jump straight into it. Queen of Pentacles. Oh, I love the traditional, don't we all? The traditional beautiful colors of India, which instantly reminds me of ancient healing, right? Because India was so brilliant at preserving their history and their ancient teachings. And they're so blessed with this information. We're learning from them today. So there's something about, with the Queen of Pentacles and this traditional wear, about it may look modern and revolutionary, but it is actually something that the ancient people were always using to heal. So it's nothing, again, it's not new. Perhaps it's new, it's the first time you hear about it, or maybe it's the first time you hear how it's applied, or you hear the details of, how it's applied. But the reading wants to show that it's not necessarily something new at all. Maybe it's a rediscovery of the old, or science intersecting with ancient tradition, that these moments confirming something ancient. That just brings healing right away. With the child here in the Sun card, which is an important part of the symbolism, I feel it's almost as in bringing your health back to just like a newborn baby. Whether this is your mental health or physical health, it's like a restart. It's like a restart button. You're clicking on a total restart button. Absolute cleansing, where there's little baggage left. Almost the baggage that you actually need. Kind of like the information that you need to in the world to process that you've learned, but not the baggage that used to bring you into pain. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles actual results, feeling empowered and having the tools to enjoy your life, having the tools that empower you, and living a life that you love. Three of Pentacles. We were asking where were we, so I know where to go. We were asking how you're going to heal. Yeah, what's this healing? Three of Pentacles. Oh, you're going to be part of a community that assists each other. Each one in the community looking at a particular perspective very well. Each one can see something so well. And so through the collaboration of the collective, this part of the community that you're in, maybe you're a scientist, or maybe you follow scientists, or I don't know, maybe you're in a community that discusses a lot this particular situation. Through the collaboration and the different perspective of this community, not only will you be able to learn from your side, but you'll be able to hear other people's sides. And this will give you a full picture of exactly what to do. So what you may not need now, hearing it from someone now, you will be empowered later on to use that information should something happen, you see? So it's a great revelation, but there's a lot of people involved and a lot of people showing perspective, their perspective on this particular topic. And In this next chapter of your life, because you're applying all this and you're being blessed with all of this amazing knowledge, you're in peace, you're happy, you're surrounded by people, but most importantly, you're liberated fully from falling into the same traps that you usually fell into. And now that you're not falling into any of these traps, none of the programs that they used to run will be playing in your life anymore. Like, for example, here with self-glorifying, someone who is going through that will be running the program of needing others to be impressed with them, or they sacrifice their private life. They sometimes felt guilty over crushing others to get what they want, and so on and so forth. Not necessarily, these are just different examples. Maybe you'll find yourself fully liberated from this whole program. You suddenly feel like you don't care what others think anymore. I mean, you get the feedback, that's great, but you don't care anymore. You find yourself not wasting your money hoarding some things because your emotions are not pushing you to do that anymore. You find that maybe you had a lot of lust over some things that are gone. You're like, that's funny, I almost identified myself with these desires. You find that you're staying true to who your real friends are, that you don't have to please them. The connection is real and not super emotional, as in like unhealthy emotions. You're able to take a lot of the decisions you couldn't take before. Perhaps before you were bogged down and weighed down by the amount of things you had to do if you take this decision, or the things you have to sacrifice, or the people you have to upset, or the things you have to prepare for, and so on. All of these were things you were emotionally avoiding. Now that these emotions aren't dragging you down, and you're fully built protection against this whole thing coming back and attacking again, you're like, I can take these decisions. What do I need to do with this? I simply don't have to talk to this person anymore. Great, not talking to this person. Oh, I can have the patience to do my own thing. Fine, I'm going to do that. I'm going to not have to necessarily enjoy something now. I can enjoy it later when things are better. You're able to take decisions in this next chapter of your life because you're seeing the truth about your past, and you're seeing the truth about reality, the actual reality. And to end your reading about the next chapter, we have the Empress here, which embodies many things. So it's not about the amount of cards that we have on the table, but rather about what they show us. The Empress is a card of creation, being creative, super creative, and having the capability of creating something, birthing something into life. The Empress is abundance. The Empress is beauty. The Empress is love. I almost feel like all the beautiful pleasures are encompassed in the Empress card. So what is your next chapter in your life? I'm honestly seeing you living an abundant life, full of love. You're feeling like you're beautiful inside out, attractive inside out. You're feeling like you're able to be attuned to your creative energy. You're able to create in your life whatever it is that you want. It's almost as if your emotions were affecting all of these things in the Empress card. And it's funny how when you're not allowing your emotions to run all these programs, that it just so happens very easily. I think the truth about the next chapter of your life is that you're going to be flabbergasted at just how much things can be easy, especially the big things that you deemed as not easy at all to have, how easy they are to have. And the only thing really that was standing in your way was you, or not you, actually, to be specific. It's not you, it was you letting your emotions run wild to this degree, simply because, that's not to blame you here at all, but simply because you didn't know. And in this next chapter, you're going to be learning so much, healing yourself in a massive way, only to see and be flabbergasted at how easy all of the things that you wanted just are part of your natural life. Here, from this place, you'll be looking back and going, oh my God, how did I think all of this wasn't easy? And you here, you're like saying, oh my God, how do you think all of this is easy? And it's not the old you or the new you. It's these emotions that are filtering things incorrectly. And that is exactly what I see in your reading. My dear pile number 3, this was so enjoyable. I wish you the best of luck. This seems like a powerful new chapter. And if you've enjoyed your reading, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. And my dear pile number 3, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so excited about your new life. Please do come back and tell everyone how your past emotions and your new emotions have been the very thing standing in your way, and what healing technique did you use. You will really be helping a lot of people. Thank you so much, and my dear pile number 3, I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye.